Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're going to still talk about contest diet methodology. This time, moving away from just the traditional higher protein, lower carb into real ketogenic dieting, which means high fat. And Adam, I've got a couple clients right now who really like this, and they've done some long-term experimentation. They've done really well. One of them, kind of out of necessity, just felt like she really enjoyed it or needed those boundaries, and just after a while being keto adapted, she felt better. So you and I both don't use this as a go-to method, but how many clients would you say have you ever had that have successfully done an entire prep with legit keto?
I can say about 6 or 7 successfully. So not a whole lot. I'll use it a decent amount to correct insulin sensitivity, but it's not a go-to for me. It's a tool in the toolbox, though, if you need it. But I love that you said successfully, because I can think of probably about 20 other times I've had an attempt with somebody with that as a maybe last resort. And, it's just keto's freaking hard. It's really hard to do. But if you can stick to it, it works.
Well, you mentioned that in a really good way, in that, people crash and burn. And I've done the same thing. I've had a lot of people who think they want to try it, they want to experience it, they've seen all this glamorous stuff online, and they just constantly just cannot even get through the first few weeks without binging. But if you do get there, and I want to say you almost have to have a medical mindset, as if you did have a condition like diabetes or end-stage cancer, and your only way of surviving was to do something this dramatic. I think you've got to have that mindset. So one of my clients who did this really well ended up winning a pro card in her first contest diet. It was her first contest diet, and there's that romanticizing of the process, I think, when you're new, that you could do that and just stick with it. I don't know if doing it a second or a third time she would be as successful, but tell me if you really had to sell this, if you said, look, I think you should do this, I think there's some value, what do you think are the good points, or do you say just no, it's not?
I mean, the pros would be the fast weight loss that happens with it initially. I'll dare to say hunger can decrease a little bit, but it's still going to be tapping you. It's going to be on your doorstep. Especially the first couple weeks, I'd say hunger is actually higher, but then you get that reward at the end. And then I would just say simply having the lower blood sugar can be beneficial, but that can also be a bad thing. You take that too far, you get into hypoglycemia and feel like crap. So, but I would say those are like kind of my 3 selling points on it if you are to do that. My big con of it is the massive metabolic suppression that happens when you do ketogenic dieting.
Yeah, so remember, guys, this is high fat. I have a client right now trying it. We're just getting started. She's under 2 weeks so far doing it, but so far she's having a positive result. And so fat intake right now, I believe, is something like 180 grams or something of fat. Carbohydrate is 20, all fiber. Protein is very moderate, so 50 to 60 grams. My first question to her is, how's your GI system? Because without that starch to create a normal gastrointestinal bolus, you end up with a lot of fat that is an emulsant, a demulsifier, and so you end up with a lot of probability for things like diarrhea, and chronically that can lead to colitis and ulcerative colitis. But so far she's doing okay. All the reasons in the world that we've talked about in previous series, I don't think it's the best, but as you said, Adam, there are even some health and medical benefits to it because you're decreasing C-reactive protein. That's why it's so good if you are in a stage 3, stage 4 cancer situation, or as, Dominique D'Agostino talks about all the time, epilepsy, things like that, where you just don't want to have any, blood sugar fluctuation whatsoever. But for a contest diet, are you saying that if a client came to you you would never just propose it like, hey, let's do this. I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. When I don't have a lot of data or even know the mentality of somebody, it's usually not my starting point. I'll actually even say when people come to me and they're on keto, initially I do add some carbs back in and lower fat. Now I might not take them a whole nother different direction, but I will start moving in that direction of higher carbs and lower fat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would never tell somebody, do not do this. I will always say, look, if you want to try it, I'm right there with you. We'll try. But I just have not found any people outside of one person so far that has successfully done it from start to finish and did well. So guys, that's some information on that. We have other episodes, other series that discuss that, but we want to move into kind of a hybrid area for our next episode. So stay tuned, and we will catch you as we wrap up this series.